What's up, YouTube? Merry Christmas to you guys. Thank you all so much for coming back for a December video here in Central North Carolina. And again, Merry Christmas to you. Thank you all for checking out this video on Christmas Eve. Wanted to do a Friday video, thought I had something that's worth content. Look at this. I am poor. I need a house. You can't make this stuff up. Look at this. I am poor. I need a house. So please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you let the ads play because I'm poor and I need a house. No, I'm just kidding. We have a house. And so we're working and talking about the lawn out here. So thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you. I hope you're having a great day. We got a little bit of content I want to talk about today on extending it on kind of what we touched on last video. And that's with Fusillade and with Bermuda grass, trying to control it in our tall fescue type yard. It's been something I've dealt with for up to, the last 2 years with my full cool blue lawn, GCI turf lawn, and that's what I've got here now. So I've always treated it with the way Mr. Pete over at GCI Turf has treated it. Thank you guys for tuning in. We just want to talk. I want to go in here and let's look at the label of Fusillade. Let's talk about it for a second. And then I want to go out here in my front yard and show you how we can prepare for the spring right now so that we know where we need to spray. And we kind of touched on it last video, but we'll go over it again quickly. So thank you for tuning in for a quick lawn care video here at Christmas time. Hope you're having a great day. Let's get into it. Let's go check out the Fusillade label. So it's a little noisy inside with the kids. They're home for Christmas and everything. But here is Mr. Fusillade 2. Now, as you guys know, I've mentioned it. I've had several people ask me, Mr. Ferguson, how do you handle Bermuda grass? And I've always handled it the way that I saw from Pete from GCI Turf. Let's say we have an area over here in our yard that we just have Bermuda grass. Well, what Pete would do, he would kind of highlight that area. He would come take his mower. He would shave that down, cut it real low with his mower. Then he would come back with some Roundup, some glyphosate, and the best that he could, he would hit those areas and kind of just wipe out the Bermuda grass the best that he could with glyphosate or with Roundup. So that's what I've done in different areas. And we've had some up here towards this bank up here. It was really bad. And to be honest with you guys, I cut it all down really short with my mower. I glyphosated it, Roundup, we reseeded, and to be honest, there has been no Bermuda grass come back. So that method did work from Pete. But as I mentioned last video briefly, a lot of you in the comments, a lot of people that work in lawn care industry or is just more knowledgeable than me, has mentioned to me, Mr. Ferguson, you should check out Fusillade. And so I started doing, finally, I don't always get a chance to look up lawn care stuff because I'm constantly making videos. But now that things have slowed down, I started researching a little bit about Fusillade. And so, as I told you guys, I bought this over and I shared an Amazon link. I'll put another one down low. I do get a small portion from if you guys buy it from Amazon, but I do think it's $3 more expensive than if you would buy it from domyown.com. I think it's $80. So it's a reasonably priced herbicide. And so that's the reason why I purchased it. Now, back when I first got into lawn care and I was looking at how do you get Bermuda out of your lawn, everything I looked up, I looked at the wrong products, but it was $200, $250. I was like, no way, and moved on from the subject and did what Pete did and just used cheap glyphosate and cut everything short. But as you guys have mentioned, here's a quart. It was $80. Check out the link in the description if you're interested in helping me. If not, go check it out anywhere. Just look up Fusillade 2. The one thing I want to look at is I've already kind of glanced over the label and it's talking about mixing it. So real fast, I just wanted to show you, we're not going to do this today clearly because we're in winter. We want to apply this to Bermuda grass when it's actively growing. And as you probably know, it quit growing, pretty much from November on until probably April around here, the Bermuda grass. So we'll need to wait until spring to spray. But for 1 gallon mix, we're talking about 0.75 fluid ounces of product. So that is what we're talking about. And then drop down below it, it says grass weed control and desirable turf grass. And it says clearly that if you can't see it, I'll read it. For the suppression and or control of common Bermuda grass, hybrid Bermuda grass, and other grass weeds in zoysia, fine fescue, and tall fescue turf grass in golf courses, residential, commercial, public, and industrial buildings, turf grass areas. Do not apply to tall fescue during the summer. And clearly, it goes on to talk about how you don't want to apply Fusillade when the grass is stressed outside. But on the label itself, it talks about it is for controlling Bermuda in turf type tall fescue or fine fescue or zoysia or these different types of grass. So if you have tall fescue, if you got a neighbor with Bermuda that constantly keeps creeping over, this may be something that you're interested in. Now again, I'm not able to use it now because it's winter, but I wanted to show you the label. The rates are 0.75 fluid ounces per gallon of mix. But now what I want to do is, now that we've seen the product, you guys know that it's labeled for it. Here's the active ingredient I can't pronounce, just in case you want to see that. It's 24.5%, some big name I can't pronounce. But there is the active ingredient if you want to try to find it in a different product a little bit cheaper. But this is what we'll be applying once we warm up for the spring. So now let's go out and let's talk about what we can do now, as we mentioned last video, to prepare on where do we need to apply this. So actually back here in the backyard, if you guys remember, our fescue, we put down the urea. The color you're seeing is just strictly Scott's Winter Guard urea nitrogen. It's I think it was a 3203 or something like that, 05 mix. But we do still see, even in the backyard, we have a little bit, we get an idea of where is Bermuda grass in our yard. Well, it's brown right now because things are dormant. So right here, just creeping in really close, you see how we've got Bermuda grass right here in this general area that is brown. It's dormant, where our fescue is bright green and thriving off that nitrogen. And even some of our fescue is starting to change color a little bit, but you can see the brown that's mixed in here a little bit. And so you see it a little bit scattered. Now, am I so concerned about this? Not so much. But you might be saying, Mr. Ferguson, how the heck does Bermuda pop up in the middle of your yard? Well, if you recall, and if you check out my past summer videos, remember, all of this was just ate up by the sun, by the shade, by lack of water, and we lost a lot of our backyard. This is all brand new grass that we just planted here in 2021 in the fall. So some of this is when we lose some of our grass during the summer months. God has designed the earth, the way the dirt, it's going to cover itself with something, and Bermuda came in. And so we still have that Bermuda that crept in, but we also have our new fescue that we planted. So that's where that came from. So let me show you the bank, because I think that's primarily what I'll be using Fusillade to in my lawn. So if you guys remember, right before fall, when we planted our new lawn, I had a bunch of weeds right here in this ditch. I actually took some of that old Ortho Weed Be Gone, mixed it up in a canister and just sprayed it. So you see where a lot of the Bermuda grass, so all of that has went away. The green fescue grass has appeared, but we have a lot of Bermuda right here, and hopefully the camera's picking it up and doing it justice. But we can get an idea, okay, here's a lot of Bermuda right here. You know, maybe it's come down from the pipe from the neighbors and just, you know, come this way, and some of the spores or whatever have come and it's just settled right here. But also up here on the bank where we lost a lot of the bank this summer, we've got Bermuda grass right here in front of us. It's all tan, and right here, and as we walk along, you can see right here, a lot of Bermuda is dormant right here in front of us on the bank, and right here over here. So we're getting an idea that and even right here, we got some dormant Bermuda right here that's just laying dormant right there. So that's when you're seeing this brown spots in your yard, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing this Bermuda grass. Big truck coming by. When you're seeing the brown splotches in your yard, clearly, most of you know, but if you're new to lawn care, that's what that is. That's summer grass or summer weeds either dying off, or Bermuda grass that's gone dormant, and now it's just laying in wait until the temperatures warm up and the ground temps warm up. So here we can get an idea. You can see kind of just a quick overview. There's splotches of brown. Well, it's not that big of a concern, but I know that that's Bermuda. We're not going to deal with it now. It's fate, and its days are limited with this Fusillade in my arsenal. So I just want to get an idea right now of where am I going to be looking to pump a lot of it. Well, clearly we're going to be looking right here on the bank. We'll read the label clearly, thoroughly, and make sure I can do a overspray, you know, of just probably this whole bank and the slope, and knock all of this out and try to knock out all of the Bermuda. And then we know primarily here in the ditch we're going to have to come back and really do a dose right here, and we'll see what happens and see if it works. But everywhere else in the front yard we may have a little bit of brown here or there, but primarily that is where I'm going to be focused for myself and my lawn. And I know I can get a general idea of, okay, Mr. Fusillade, I'm going to need you right here on this bank, and as long as the label allows me to, we'll be able to take care and knock out Bermuda, hopefully for good, on this bank. But all in all, you guys can see the color. We may be fading out a little bit with our urea nitrogen from Scott's, I can't tell, but all in all, we are looking good. So remember, Jesus is the reason for the season. And yeah, so now we know where we're looking to put our Fusillade once we get into some spring temperatures. And that's pretty much the gist of what we wanted to talk about today. Just, I like the Fusillade. I'm excited to be able to use Fusillade. Now, I also realize that some people say, Mr. Ferguson, I don't like putting any herbicide on my lawn. I go, oh, natural. If there's weeds, fine. I'll choke them out with thick grass, and if they make it, they make it. And that's totally fine. For me, I don't want Bermuda, because Bermuda can be a huge problem. If you've got turf type tall fescue, Bermuda is very hard to kill. That's why I did the peat strategy of cutting it real short, glyphosate, and still, even at times on the bank, we've done that several times, it comes back. And so it's a nuisance. It's a problem in a turf type tall fescue lawn. Up on the hill, it's nothing but Bermuda up there, and it's a very tough grass. If you got a Bermuda lawn, you know there's very little things that can hurt it. But we want to handle it. We don't want it in our fescue lawn, because it gives it that different color green a lot of times during the spring, and it just it's like, it's okay, it's bearable, but if you really get down to it and notice it, it's annoying knowing that we got Bermuda there, and it spreads, and it's like a snake, man. It just slides along in your grass and it just spreads, and before you know it, you need way more herbicide to handle it rather than knocking it out in the areas of the bank. We don't want it to creep down in our lawn any further. So hopefully this has been helpful to somebody. Maybe there's some of you out there with a turf type tall fescue lawn. You've planted it and you've got it, but you've also got some dormant Bermuda grass out there that you've not handled. You've done glyphosate and Roundup, and maybe it's worked for you, maybe not. Like I said, it worked on my bank over here because it's nothing but beautiful GCI grass now. But over here, we're still battling Bermuda on the bank, so I'm anxious to use the Fusillade and be able to knock it out. So again, stay tuned to the channel, subscribe if you're interested, and we'll do that together here on the channel. We'll see if it works, and we'll give you updates. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching about Fusillade, and again, have a very Merry Christmas. Hope Santa's good to all of you, and you get all the fertilizer, you get all the spreaders and weed eaters and mowers that you need in your life, and we'll catch you back on another video just as soon as we have content to bring you. Merry Christmas from the Ferguson family. Y'all have a great Christmas. God bless. Take care.